Good morning. It is 6:30 a.m. on Tuesday, August 23rd, 2016. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, the website woes continue. I was teased with Salvation last night when it briefly worked again, only to stop working again this morning. So, just if anyone is seeing this on, through YouTube, or, if you're seeing this some other way and you're wondering and you're frustrated because you can't get to the site, try you going through a cell network instead of through a home ISP. I don't know why that makes a difference, but it seems to. So, anyway, hopefully the fact that it started to work briefly yesterday means that there's progress being made. Anyway. So that's disappointing that it went, kind of came and went and then went, that it went and then came and then went again. And also, I was feeling irritated while it wasn't working because I was thinking, would have been nice if I had had a more recent backup of all the stuff that's being on that hosting account, just in case whatever's going on could lead to some sort of a problem with that. And then when it came back, I was like, oh, what a relief. But did I immediately use that opportunity, that window, to back up all that data? Of course not, because it was back now, so why bother? Anyway, what I thought I might talk about today a little bit is musical theater. Just yesterday, I was kind of idly thinking to myself, I like musical theater, so what are some of my favorite soundtracks? And maybe some of my friends could recommend some others that I am not already aware of, or suggestions, ones that I might know but haven't listened to in a while. And so I asked the question on Twitter and Facebook, and boy, people delivered. Um, so I just thought I would kind of go through some of the suggestions and just share those with everybody. So most of these recommendations came on Facebook. Chris Casey suggested the Book of Mormon, which I already have as the soundtrack, but love it. So funny, but also managing to actually say something. It's not just jokes, and yet so many jokes. It's so funny. Sam Schreiber suggested the 2005 Sweeney Todd cast recording with Michael Cerveris and Patty Lupone. He followed up to suggest Tick Tick Boom, which is, I believe, the follow-up from the guy who wrote Rent. Let's see. So there's a lot of comments here. I'm going to just kind of slide through the names and not necessarily include all the discussion here. We had Becky Lambert Schopner. I don't know. I should say that right. Suggesting Evita. Dave Slusher suggested Camelot. Camelot is one that I used to watch the movie version with my mom when I was a kid, and so that one would be fun to revisit. Christopher Morse suggested Jekyll and Hyde, which I'm not even familiar with as a musical, so I might have to check that out. Jackie Butler von Hunius said Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Once More with Feeling soundtrack, which, again, I own already, but love it. Especially Once More with Feeling, or not, Going Through the Motions is one of the opening song, and that's been a shower standard for me for a long time. I mentioned let me skip past that. Christopher Morse also suggested Shrek the Musical, and then he suggested Rent and Tick Tick Boom again. And Spamalot and Spelling Bee, he says. Spelling Bee, I don't even know what that is. August Grappin suggests Shrek, Spamalot, Into the Woods, Wicked, Chicago, The Producers, The Lion King, Newsies, Cabaret, Beethoven's Last Night. I am familiar, I think, with all of those except for Beethoven's Last Night, which I don't know what that is. Rich Girardi says Songs for a New World and Once on This Island. I don't even know what those are. D. Reed suggests anything by Sondheim, especially Into the Woods, Sweeney Todd, and A Little Night Music. Sweeney Todd previously suggested, of course, but I love the movie version. And Into the Woods, I've actually seen produced as a play. A Little Night Music, I don't know that one though. Dave Chapman suggests It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman, but I don't know that one either. And see, that's one of the things that made me want to talk about this. Is just there's so many that I hadn't even ever heard of. He also suggests Flora the Red Menace, another one like that. Julianne Hughes suggests Got Hamilton Yet? And I'm like, yeah, I've got that one. At the same time that if I hadn't had it, it'd be a good suggestion. It was actually the one I was thinking about that inspired the whole question. Veronica Jaguar suggested In the Heights and Bring It On, which are musicals that Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton fame did before Hamilton. Shelley Brisbane suggested a few old school ones. She mentioned Sweeney Todd and Evita, but also Dreamgirls and A Chorus Line, and then also echoes Into the Woods and Wicked. Tabitha Grace Chalice says My Fair Lady and Into the Woods and Fiddler on the Roof. Fiddler on the Roof was another one that I watched as a kid, and definitely have a few of those songs that just rattle through my head every so often. Let's see. D. Reed suggests some more, some Rodgers and Hammerstein, and Lerner and Lowe, Jules Stein. So South Pacific, Paint Your Wagon, Hello Dolly, and Sweet Charity, and those are definitely some fun ones too. Billy Flynn suggests Jesus Christ Superstar and Rocky Horror Picture Show, which, again, another two that I already have, but are excellent. Heather Welliver suggests Phantom of the Opera, Rent, and the music from Joss Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing. And, of course, Dr. Horrible. Phantom of the Opera is an interesting one. I remember first seeing the movie version and being unimpressed with the lyrics, even as I liked the broader story and the music itself. Might be due for a re-listen on those. Michael Spence echoes Camelot, also says The Sound of Music, and then Lisa Seneca suggested the Xanadu musical soundtrack, another one that I've got, but I love it. Also 1776, which I should check out, because that one is one that I've heard about previously. T. Morris jumps in with My Favorite Year, and then Brit Chess? I don't, so I know chess is one, so I'm not, oh, Brit Chess, I guess that's what that is the British version of chess, I guess. I have Chess in Concert, so I'm not sure what might be different between that one and the British version, but Tim Dodge jumps in with Carousel and Jared Axelrod with Fun Home. And then some of my own recommendations that nobody else mentioned include Avenue Q, Little Shop of Horrors, and Evil Dead the Musical. So, anyway, if you were looking for some musical theater soundtrack recommendations, there you go. So, now I've got to get ready for work, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes.